On here, we clocked in. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, it's definitely a pleasure having you in. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. I go by the name of Lee Sweet. I am a spiritual healer. And as a spiritual healer, technically what I do is that I assist other people in becoming in alignment with who they are. And the best way for you to do that, you do it by embodying or embracing, the self, and pretty much acknowledging your emotions and your intellectual conditioning. Now, when it comes to your emotions, it's important for you to understand your emotional patterns and the blockages as well, and that would be part of, healing the wounded child. Now, when it comes to your intellect or your intellectual conditioning, which is also mind control, there are many different things that pretty much contribute to your intellectual conditioning. And tonight, I'm going to be talking about pretty much, culture a little bit. I think I have touched on that a little bit, but in the past, but I want to take a whole different look at it, and just so you understand what truly mind control is all about, right? Now, if you're coming back, already know what the deal is. It's a full moon, you know what I'm saying? We out here. You can only see this, baby. You can't touch it though. Here we are. So, but now, if also, I love to give out a little bit of background, or maybe not necessarily background, but give you a synopsis of, what spirituality is. Obviously, as a spiritual healer, for me to actually help you to become in alignment with yourself, I use spirituality. So, spirituality, pretty much, what that is, the root, the root word of spirituality is spirit. And technically, what spirit is you. It's just you, dog. Like, it's just you. It's you. It's you. And, but for you to arrive to that conclusion, that's when you would have to go through the journey and truly have a deeper understanding of what this reality is. Meaning you would have to understand, okay, now speech, I'll give you a perfect example, and I'll always use that type of example because it's a good one. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we're talking about our speech, and pretty much everything that we use to express ourselves, is simply a representation of our mentality. If you're writing anything, if you're saying anything verbally, or technically everything we do is a form of expression of how we're thinking, which is all mental. But most importantly, now, if you were to delve a little bit deeper into, okay, so what is the mental then? Then at this point, you would come to the conclusion that it's not something physical. That's why we are complex being. We are multi-dimensional beings. And pretty much, and that's the reason why, as a spiritual healer, technically, which is also another term that you can also use for a psychologist. But what makes it different is that, I'm using nature, as a tool as I'm talking about it. In other words, I'm using the divine. Because when you talk about a natural healer, right, when you talk about, which is different from, let's just say, your regular doctors, your nurses, your hospitals and things of that sort, a natural healer uses natural stuff to heal you. But it also does that by embodying, by having a deeper understanding of who they are and who you are and your pain, and so that way, we could come up with a remedy. Do you see what I'm saying? So come get your medicine. So technically, and that's what spirituality is. So spirituality has nothing to do with a belief system, or it's distant from you. It has nothing to do with that. So before you can even think, before you can even say anything, your essence is your spirit. And everything that you're doing It's just revealing that. It's being revealed in different ways. So, now with that being said, now tonight, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be talking about culture, right? How, why, but most importantly, it's important for you to understand your culture because a lot of us, we are operating in our culture by not having a proper understanding of what our culture is. It becomes part of your second nature, meaning you have not really mastered it. You're not conscious of your culture. You know what it is, but you're not conscious of it. And technically, that's what, when we talk about marketing, and I'll give you a perfect example, right? And why is this important? This is very important because that is part of you being in control of your mind. That's why you have to understand mind control. Because when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to self-awareness, or becoming aware or having that Christ consciousness, you have to be self-aware. You got to know who you are. And you knowing who you are, there are different multi, aspect of you that you have to acknowledge. For instance, your emotions. You have to acknowledge your emotions. When you do not, that's when you become in denial. That's when, your shadow self, you're being captivated by your shadow self instead of having your shadow to work for you. Another way of saying this, when people are talking about such and such has an ego, what they're truly saying is, their ego have captivated them. They're not in control. When you see someone is being triggered, well, that very act of being triggered, is displaying, it's revealing your shadow self. But we're not looking at it that way. We're looking at it from just the tip of the iceberg. Well, tonight, motherfucker, you're going to look at it from a whole different perspective. And that's why it's important for you to understand your culture. Because you don't want to be in autopilot. Because by doing so, that's how you are asleep. You're not aware. You're not conscious. And another way of saying that is that you are asleep. And a lot of people are just asleep. Like they're just dreaming. Because they are not aware. You know what I'm saying? The only way for you to become conscious, you got to be aware of your ignorance. In other words, like another way, okay, let me use this. Scientists or a lot of people are saying, what they're saying, you acting based on a reptilian brain. That's what that is. You're just acting a certain way. And your culture plays a big part in you just doing shit and not being aware of it. Until you acknowledge it, you've mastered it. But for you to do so, there are so many different things. You would have to understand how your culture works, man. And sometimes it's good, too, to expand your culture or to, pretty much experience other cultures because it helps you to have a broader perspective. Like when we talk about, let's just say, a Haitian, what's the word that I'm looking here? Like griot, or if we're talking about like a Haitian cuisine, right? All that is just the same food that exists in the American culture, that exists in the fucking Jamaican culture, that exists in pretty much everywhere else. But it's being prepared or cooked differently. But here's the thing too. That's why your culture is very important, because your culture, I'll give you a perfect example. If you notice, like when we talk about Neger's cuisine, it's all slavery based. to be honest. You know, what you niggas are calling over here, like, I don't know, like soul food. Like in Haiti, I mean, we don't call it soul food, but I mean, it's just derived from slavery. We have this victory squash soup that we do, you know what I'm saying, at the very beginning of each year, you know, because we want our fucking independence, and that's what we were drinking. So no matter where you go, you know what I'm saying, in a Haitian family, this nigga's gonna have what we call soup joumou. You know what I'm saying? Which is a squash, pretty much, soup. But I'm saying all of that to say, not just showing you your culture, how your mind is being conditioned, but there is an underlying story behind it. So that underlying story, sometimes it's important for you to understand it. So now, okay, I'll give you a perfect example, right? If you were to ask me, what do you do for a living? Well, guess what, motherfucker? I am a father. I have a son and a daughter. I did kickboxing, MMA. I read books. I am a spiritual healer. Um, but you would be like, nigga, what the fuck are you telling? What the fuck are you talking about? Right? Because what you're truly asking me, it's not truly what I do for a living. Because all of these things are things that I do for a living. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I do full body workout. I do yoga. I swim. I play the guitar. Like, but that's not really what you're asking me. What you truly asking me, nigga, is that what kind of job do you do? Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So understanding your culture, meaning, you know, like me as a Haitian brother now living, being part of this culture, which is also part of my culture now, is that, and that's where the culture shock for me had to go through, like, because I had to understand, what do you mean when you say this? Because what you're truly asking me is, nigga, what, you could have just asked me, yo, nigga, what type of job do you do? But that's not what you ask. That's not what your question was, but that's what you mean. So therefore, when we're talking about culture, we're talking about, that's why you got to understand, you know, the state of mind behind it. And that's why I always tell niggas too, you don't speak fucking English, you speak American. Do you see what I'm saying? Because what makes you, the reason why you speak American is what you mean is the code behind what you're saying. And the code behind that is truly what you're doing is you're trying to size me up. You know what I'm saying? Because when you ask me what do I do, okay, fine. I do accounting work. I am an accountant, right? But then now, the underlying, like the following up questions that always come after that is, well, where you from? Right? Because what you're truly doing is that you're sizing me up. You're trying to know, okay, who is this motherfucker? But the way you're going about learning about who I am has nothing to do with the person that I am. But that's your culture. I get it. Do you see what I'm saying? Because now, and that is the reason why too, in our culture, like job, people look at a job, you know, it's pretty much who you are. Ask a nigga who ain't got, let's just say, for lack of better terms, right? And even me saying for lack of better terms, that's, I'm gonna make a point here. You ask another motherfucker, right, who's insecure. You ask him, well, what do you do, bro? Nigga will tell you, you know what, man, like right now, The minute a nigga start off by telling you, well, for right now, I'm doing this. But this is where I want to go. So therefore, the underlying message here, or the way you're looking at having a job is your life. That's why in our culture, we need to have a meaningful job. All of that is making sense to me. I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying? But once you understand the underlying understanding behind it, you're like, oh, okay, that's how these niggas are thinking. And that's what, in so many words, make you a fucking American. And you speak that way too. It has nothing to do with fucking English here. You are pretty much reflecting your understanding of what life is. That's why your culture is deep. It's important for you because your culture can also prevent you from attaining certain spiritual consciousness. That's why you have to go beyond your culture. But first, just like anything else, for you to master anything, you have to transcend it. In other words, for you to transcend it, though, you have to understand it. Do you see where do you see where I'm trying to go with this? And what I do as my job has nothing to do with defining me. The truth is, nigga, I've had so many different jobs. You know, when I was going through my undergrad, nigga, I was waiting on tables. I did a little bit of warehouse too, nigga, you know what I'm saying, with those boxes, you feel me? All I'm saying is, shit, you could do a million jobs in life, man. And what the fuck that has to do with you? Do you see what I'm saying? And what we do in this culture too, man, we celebrate, let's just say, hardworking people or businessmen. You know, guys like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, the Amazon guy, what is his name? Jeff something. Do you see what I'm saying? We turn these guys into celebrities. So therefore, our culture now, you have been conditioned already, you know what I'm saying? Although these guys are entrepreneurs and things like that, but you want to have a meaningful job because these guys, you know what I'm saying, they are it. And the money that they make, here's something else too. Your definition of money here is proof. Your money show you how good you're doing. You know what I'm saying? How good am I doing? Well, check out my bank account, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So all of that now, not only you have identified yourself with your job, you know what I'm saying, but you also identify now money now as your proof. That's what you use as a way to, as a barometer, you know, that shows you how good you're doing. In fact, there was this nigga, maybe, was it a month ago? Some shit, he was talking some shit about, you know what I'm saying? He was saying like the old hip hop motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember this motherfucker's name, but everybody got on his motherfucking ass. But I understand what he was saying. You know, he's what you would call, you know, he's the typical American. Money proof how good you're doing. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you now, if you start looking at it this way, then you could see how, you know, like, can you imagine now at this point, and I'm telling you that you more than money? Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Get your ass back to Haiti, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what could define you. And then here it's like, you know what I'm saying? A monk, nigga, is alive. There's a different definition of life at this point. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So when you were asking me, what do I do for a living? I'm giving you all the list of all those shit. You're like, nigga, get to the point, man. But what you really, you know what I'm saying? You really want to know, what do I do for my job? And here's something else too. Here's what you're also thinking about that you're not saying. You truly thinking about, nigga, what is your purpose? Because you somehow align my job with my purpose. Now, granted, in some cases that could be the case, but you can also have a job too, nigga. Like it's just fine. For instance, like I was saying, like I like to tell people like I'm a part-time accountant. Cool. I'm good at what I do. I understand it. I get the logic behind it, nigga. But as far as my passion is this. What I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I forgot to include, I also write. Those are all shit that I do for a living, motherfucker. As far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what you're asking me. And of course, now you're going to ask me, because listen, man, I've been around the cult. I listen, and I'm like, oh, okay. Where are you from? Because all you're doing is you're looking to size me to put me in this box, and that's how you get to know me. Not the individual as a person, but my qualifications, my accolades. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then when I tell you the things that you're looking to hear, what you're asking, depending on your conditioning, then you could give me a yay or a nay. This nigga's a loser. This motherfucker's a loser. You know what I'm saying? Because now I have not checked in the sense of, you know what I'm saying, going with the flow. That's what going with the flow is. And that's why now, because of that now, so many people now are taking great pleasure in their jobs. Because your job now, at this point, becomes a representation of you. So you could see how a nigga feel when the nigga says, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? I'm a scientist. God damn it, niggas. Y'all got a lot going on. Nigga, keep on going. You know what I'm saying? My niggas. So all of that also derived. That's how you get to create the false self. That's how you are worshiping idols instead of your true self. Because the reality of it is you are all of it and none of it. Meaning, if I'm using myself, I'm a father, I'm this, I'm that, I do, you know what I'm saying, all that. But I'm also none of that too. But me saying I'm none of that is just saying, acknowledging that there's something greater in the person that I am. That's the meaning of I am in this world, but not of this world. I am in this world, but not of this world. But for you to understand that, again, that's why your humanity is your spiritual battleground. This is where you're going to elevate. Oh, this is your proven ground, baby. What are you going to do? This is your proven ground. That's why the spirit has to be made flesh. You have to materialize your spirituality here. Let me get mine, niggas. My niggas. So understanding your culture has a lot to do with your state of mind, with your intellectual conditioning. So everything that I'm telling you now are pretty much based on having a deeper understanding of what's taking place in front of me. But most importantly, that is exactly what marketing does. Marketing, they're not trying to convince you of anything. They have study groups to study your ass. Well, nowadays, I don't really see that anymore. They just buy your information. Because your information would tell them more about you than you may be conscious of. That's why information, this is a big business. Facebook is making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, in fact, I was watching this shit about TikTok, and they were saying how these niggas, once you sign up, they have access to your computer files, like everything. I'm like, what? But I didn't, you know how niggas, well, like I do. You know what I'm saying? I posted my shit on there. Like I have IG, I have YouTube, I have TikTok. I posted my shit on there. And I'm like, oh shit. But it was after, you know, of course, who takes the time to read all the fucking terms, right? Well, somebody else did it for me. Then I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And that's how you would think it's a miracle, this niggas, and somehow there's a product that's being offered to you that has to do with spirituality. So what the fuck? How do they know? Well, they've been, you know what I'm saying? They're not looking to convince you. A true marketer, mind control has nothing to do with niggas trying to convince you. If you have to be convinced, nigga, your mind is not controlled yet. When your mind is being totally controlled, you don't even question it. Until your consciousness, you have grown your consciousness, then now you could see what the mind control is. Just like anything else. That's why it's important for you to understand the science of ignorance. That's how the dark and the light goes hand in hand. That's how you can't, Lucifer, Satan. How do you want it? It's the same shit. Out of the darkness comes what? Comes the light. They go hand in hand. The yin and the yang. The masculine and the feminine. But it's important, again, let's get back to the culture. And there's so many different things we could talk about too. And I think, and I don't want to spend too much time on the other bullshit that I think I had already talked about. For instance, I talked about, you know what I'm saying, like when you talk about relationship, or if you look in the court, like a young lady, whatever the fuck the situation is, it's the battle between the sexes. Only two can play that game. You know what I'm saying? If you see that movie, that is a perfect recommendation of what the dating scene it's all about. That's part of our culture. Love is not. It's not. It's not love. Excuse me. We ain't doing love on this side, nigga. It's the game. But deep inside of us, because we are true spirit, everybody truly want to put their guards down. You only have it up after you got your heart broken. Because you have not transcended that pain You have not transmuted the pain, which has to do with you having a clear understanding of that emotional action. That's why it's important for you to understand your emotional pattern and blockages, because that would become a blockage for you at that point. And that's what the occult now is saying by you have to heal your wounded child. This shit is happening right in front of you. Your fucking humanity is your spirituality, nigga. Now, how you look at it makes a difference. Yeah, you let me know, whoever, like a spiritual master that have mastered spirituality without dealing with this life. Without understanding mind control, without mastering their own fucking emotion. You're talking about this mundane life. That's how you transcend it. The fuck? And that's why the Indians call this a motherfucking illusion. Because it's not what it looks like. That's what illusion is. Simply that, niggas. It's not fake. It's not what you think it is. Because the minute you say fake, you're saying you're talking about a fucking original one. Then you're talking about duality. Good, bad. Real, fake. But when you say illusion, there's no sides. And that's what polarity is all about. The coin, heads or tail, is part of the coin, nigga. Do you understand what I'm saying? So having a deeper understanding of our culture is critical in your spiritual growth. It's a must. That's the only way you're going to be able to transcend it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there are so many, you have to be able to understand the underlying message in what we do. Or what we say as fucking Americans. Because we speak American. Right? So I can't be communicating with you in my Haitian mind. If I were to do so, now, I mean, I know how to translate it. I mean, it's being translated. But what I'm trying to say to you, like, you've never seen anybody who's, like, what you saying, broken English? The broken English comes in, you know, when they looking to speak to you in their mentality. And the reason why it's easier for a kid to learn another language, because they're not attached to one mentality yet. They could flip it. They could be American, they could be this, they could be that. And for me, you know, the age that I came in over here, you know, and then with my ability had allowed me to make that transition. And if you're learning any fucking language, you have to think like them for you to speak that language. If you're going to learn about French right now, well, nigga, guess what? You're going to have to learn about the holidays. They love wine. They love cheese. When they're having dinner, they're sipping on wine. Now, you might be asking yourself, why the fuck do I need to know all that shit? All I'm trying to say is speak the language. Relax, nigga. What they're truly doing to you is that they're trying to get you to be in that state of mind. Because it's to speak that language, you got to take in, like, that's why like a French in France and the Canadian French, it's not the same. Not just the accent. Well, the accent is definitely different. You know what I'm saying? But the way, the mentality is different. American and fucking England. England, they speak England, nigga. There's a mentality that they have that comes with it, although they were speaking English. So now you may label it as England English or Australian English, whatever the fuck. But even for you to put it that way, to label it that way, you are insinuating unconsciously that it is more than fucking English. So that's why, again, like I tell niggas, man, niggas like, my educated people, you know what I'm saying? I speak Haitian, nigga. And I speak American. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say, you know, like, understanding the culture code is just fucking crazy. It's a must. And by culture codes, the codes now simply means the meaning of what they do and why they do it. Not necessarily why they do it, but what they do and what it means. Now, when you ask me, you know what I'm saying, what do I do for a living? What you mean to ask me is what type of job do I do? So now when you have marketers now that steps in the game who are studying you, they're studying what you don't tell them. That's why even in the music industry they will tell you that this shit don't sell, bro. We're not gonna put your album out. We want you to talk about this, we want you to talk about that, because that's what the people love. Now, you wanna gamble with that? You know, maybe we're behind you or we're not, whatever the fuck. I don't know. But all I'm trying to say to you is I understand the understanding behind it. The concept behind it. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, we are in a culture where, shit, I was going to go too far. Well, let me use this fucking example. Us as American, life, it's all about movement for us. That's why time is money, New York City, you know what I'm saying, niggas are moving. The minute you become stagnant, you know what I'm saying, it's crazy. That's why motherfuckers work, and work. But most importantly, you are being conditioned to be a forever worker too. And the niggas that got money, like I remember listening to Weezy. Nigga was saying, nigga, you know what I'm saying, I don't sleep, nigga. I ain't got time to sleep. Sleep's for the weak. That's the culture. Elon Musk, these guys, I don't know. They may have, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, shit, maybe we should crap this shit out. I shouldn't mention that, but because I don't know much about them. But all I'm trying to say is I wouldn't be surprised, let's just say, you know, if this nigga had that same type of attitude as well. In the sense of, you know, you got to keep moving, constantly thinking, coming out with new products, evolving. That's what you guys are calling evolving. You're growing. You gotta be dynamic. That's part of your culture. So Nike now, who understands the game, tell you, nigga, just do it. Just do it, babe. Come on, man. This is all psychological, niggas. They're not telling you anything that you're not doing already. This is, you got to understand this. Steve Harvey, think like a man, act like a lady. The reason, that's why it's important for you to understand, whenever you see something popular, it means something. There's a collective consciousness here that's taking place. He didn't say anything, you know what I'm saying? That's why, like, sometimes I'm like, shit. Because my background was also in marketing before I became a fucking accountant. So I understand how this shit works. Right? Nigga. But my integrity, man, I can't do it. But there's nothing wrong with it, though. I'm just not, I can't, nah, I'd rather subscribe to this. When you wake up to it, then you see the knowledge in it. But that's what the occult is all about, any fucking way. Tahuti has this line, shit, what the fuck is that book? anyway, somewhere where he's talking about, you know what I'm saying, like the shit that he's talking about, even he's writing it, wise words, whatever the fuck, even though it's been written by his decaying hands, remains imperishable. You know what I'm saying? That's what the occult is all about. You have to wake up to it, baby. It's always in front of you. That's why I don't like the hidden culture shit. Because it gives you the impression, although I get it, I know exactly what it means. They're not saying it's being hidden from you, but hidden in the sense you have to look for it. But I can't understand where people could be, you know what I'm saying, like, confused by the fucking term, or where you may not truly understand it. Because what this is really telling you is that you have to delve into it. You have to delve into the mystère, like we call it mystère, the mystery of who you are. And that's and by the way, that's the definition of voodoo too. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole different conversation. We're not even going to talk about that. So, ooh, goddamn. I'm going to save that one for later. That was a good one, though. That was a very good one. That was a download I just got. But we're not going to go too far left. So, it's like, I'll give you a perfect example, right? Being a fucking, I was going to say bitch, but, you know, being a woman in fucking America is tough, bro. If you understand it, it's tough, man. Because it's like, even when it comes down to like, let's talk about, being a feminine energy. The feminine energy, it's all about shine. It's all about radiance. Like, it's radiating. It's all about shining. It's all about, beauty. And which is also part of them being sexy. So women in America, you have to be in between. So which is in so many ways, it's not allowing you to be truly you. You understand what I'm saying to you? Let's just say it's good for you to be sexy, but if you're too sexy, then now you are the problem. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this country has the most rapes ever. Like, when I was reading that, I'm like, what the fuck? How come there are so many rape? Like, rape in this country it's just, woo! Google that shit. What article was I reading? That was some shit I was reading. But the rape, like the rape rate is just insane over here, man. And you would also hear motherfuckers that talk about, well, because I listen to everybody. These motherfuckers would be like, well, you know what I'm saying? The way she dressed, she was asking for it. What? What about you, motherfucker? Like, you mean to tell me, like, just because a bitch is walking around naked, I gotta jump on her? You understand what I'm saying? And that shit is becoming acceptable. So now niggas are telling you, ladies, act a certain way. Ladies, dress a certain way. But what you're truly saying is it's okay to rape them if they cross that line. That's truly what you're saying, to be honest. Whereas a bitch should be able to walk fucking naked. Walk naked all you fucking want. Who the fuck gives a fuck? If you're mature. Like, for me, that's the way I'm looking at it. Now, granted, if you're walking around naked, I'll definitely look. I'm like, God damn. Let's see what kind of what kind of cat you got. Is it a fat cat? Is it a tiny cat? What kind of cat you got? But that's as far as we're going to go, man. The fuck? Like, nah, man. It's not a justification just because you're dressing sexy. And part of the feminine energy is that they do it automatically. That's part of who they are. Nigga, listen. I have experienced that shit with my fucking daughter, man. 9 years old. At that time, she was like, what, probably 5. And, I was, she, after she was done taking a shower, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, okay, I give her a piece of clothes. She's like, Dad, I don't want that. I'm like, okay, well, you could choose whatever the fuck you want to wear. This little motherfucker went and got a short, like, short. 5 years old, bro. And I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, oh, how? Do you see what I'm saying? But all she was doing by her picking her own clothes, it was her being radiating. They gotta shine that way. And guess what? When she turned like 6, I think it was, or 7, she wanted to wear makeup. She wanted to be like the other women. She wanted to be beautiful. That's women, the feminine energy is the light of the world, baby. That's what they do. That's what they do. Do you see what I'm saying? Has nothing to do, well, you have your hoes, though. You know what I'm saying? You do have your hoes. But in terms of, do you see how conflicted that could be? You know what I'm saying? For a feminine energy to actually project herself here, man. Like her being herself, now she's a hoe. Just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, shit, granted, some bitches are looking for that shit. Not necessarily looking for it, but they know how to, it's in them. That's the bottom line. Do you see what I'm saying? So now, if you, being in a culture where it's conflicted that way, which is, by the way, also patriotic. Patriarchal type of shit. That's why a lot of you bitches trying to be like niggas. That's why when Steve Harvey came out, think like a man. So when you understand the underlying culture, and that's what marketing does. They understand what you're saying that you're not saying. When you ask me, nigga, what do I do for a living? Even though I were to tell you all this list of the shit that I'm saying, that's not what you mean. You probably look at me like, niggas, you stupid? But that's what you asked, though. But that's not what you meant. I get you. I got you. That's what we all do. So when you're cracking the codes, when you are understanding what people are truly telling you, that's when you're like, oh, okay. That's why a lot of people may say one thing, but what they truly doing is that's what they're looking for. They want something else. And understanding your culture now, it gives you a broader perspective on why you do the shit that you do. Why do I say it this way, but that's what I meant to say? Now you have a culture where, you know what I'm saying, now you got to find a meaningful job. Like, I get a lot of fucking crazy questions, you know what I'm saying, when I'm going through fucking interviews and shit. Niggas are telling me, what kind of environment am I looking for? Nigga, I just need a job. You know what I'm saying? Who gives a fuck about what type of fucking environment? Like, you really care? They don't, but they do as well. Yo, I remember this shit, man. Yo, there was this job that that I had a great fucking interview and everything. But then they had a fucking personality test. Now, I was shocked to see how accurate that shit was. But that's when I learned from that shit too. Now I know what they're looking for. I know how to take my personality test too now, niggas. But anyway, but this is why I was shocked. I was shocked because The test revealed that I was a truth seeker. These niggas didn't call me. You a truth seeker? We don't need that. We're not looking for truth seekers. Nigga, this is a fucking accounting job. Truth seeker? Yo, I was so shocked to see how accurate this shit was. But most importantly, I'm saying this to tell you, how, what they're looking for too. How they have mastered this is a mental institution, baby. It's all mental. They're looking for a slave mentality. Not necessarily a slave mentality, of course, but, I don't know, like a hard-working, dedicated motherfucker, then my devotion would have to be to them. Because that's why they're trying to they understand that too. That's why human resources, they are rewarding you guys. Making you feel like, they even have shit, like some of the terminology that they use for motherfuckers that do a certain job, to make them feel like great about what the fuck they doing. It's insane. Like, I can't really think of anything right now, but let's just say if you a shoe shiner, I don't know. You don't really have that over here, but I'm just going off my Haitian mind, right? These niggas would have a whole different interpretation of what you do, because that is your life. Most importantly, they want to make you feel comfortable. Keep working as you're working, because they understand. Listen, this is what having a job means. Is you. So therefore, if it's you, nigga, now what you're doing has to be meaningful. That's why you look for a meaningful job. Now you gotta tell a motherfucker you're looking for, why do you want to work here? Why do you want to work here? You're looking for growth, then you start coming up with the company, what they do, what they does, you know what I'm saying, how impactful they are in the community. Like Disney, I'll give you a perfect example, because I remember, I don't know, I actually wrote a paper on these motherfuckers, right? A lot of these motherfuckers work at Disney, man. With all the money Disney's making, these motherfuckers don't get paid at all. But they're there because they are part of a movement. You want to talk about mind control? That's what mind control is, motherfucker. Oh, they didn't try to convince you. Nobody's convincing you here. That's the beauty about fucking mind control. Nobody's convincing you, bro. But based on the culture, meaning now your job is your representation of who you are, well, therefore, this is what we're doing over here. Because now you could say, I work for Disney. You know what I'm saying? I went to Princeton. I went to Harvard. Meanwhile, that was the one shit like that always, you know what I'm saying, like motherfuckers are paying a whole lot of money to go to a college. That's their money. Now they're praising where the fuck they're going. So another, like school, what does school represent? What does university represent here? That's your culture, your way of looking at it. It represents success. It represents a better you. It helps you to find what? That meaningful job, motherfucker. It helps you to find that meaningful job. So at this point, I'm not even getting into the whole slave mentality. I'm not even talking about none of that shit. I'm getting into, well, if you want to label this a slave mentality, I mean, you're not wrong. But I'm showing you why you have a slave mentality. That's why you have to understand the science of ignorance, motherfucker. You gotta understand the science of ignorance. Because that's ignorant like a motherfucker. because it has nothing to do with you, the true you. That's why the true you, even me as a Haitian motherfucker, I'm Haitian, I'm not fucking Haitian. I'm American, I'm not fucking American. Nigga, I'm Jamaican, I'm not even fucking Jamaican. Like, I'm able to embrace all of that because of my higher self. I acknowledge that, but I see the higher part of me. That's how I'm able to embrace all of this shit. And by the way, I fuck with all my niggas. All my niggas. Y'all already know. This is for y'all niggas. You know what I mean? Shit. Yo, like Snoop is one of my favorite niggas. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Uncle? What's going on, cuz? Now, Mick, we're doing what niggas do, baby. But the underlying understanding here is that your culture is technically a way of looking at shit. So when you're being born into a culture, you are automatically born into looking at shit a certain way. Programmed, mind control, automatically. And that's the true meaning of mind control. So now what you have, when you see those marketing, now let's get back to Victoria's Secret. These motherfuckers are brilliant. I mean, it's the same shit with the Steve Harvey shit. Right? Now you could be sexy all you want, but you are protected because your sexiness is underneath your clothes, nigga. You could be kinky, you could do all your whole shit underneath it all, nigga. Lingerie. You bring your sexiness underneath your clothes. Because the culture you're living in, well, there's rape going on, nigga. You see how safe that shit is? They understand the language. So what Steve Harvey did, and that was the reason why, after that book, this nigga was booked everywhere. He figured the game out. You know what I'm saying? It's not my path, but sometimes it's just, I'm like, God, listen, man, y'all niggas are tripping. You know a couple things I had in mind, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit, can you imagine if I was looking for subscribers? Nigga, I studied the game tapes, nigga. That's not what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? When you're ready, you're going to tap into it, baby. It's going to be for you. Well packaged. You're going to appreciate it in due time. But it'll be up to you. It's on you. I did my part, nigga. It's on you. You know what I'm saying? That's why this type of language, this type of wisdom, this is for the livings. I'm not working for the reptilian mind, for the ignorant. I understand it. I have compassion for it. Come on, out of that shit, it makes me the person that I am. But what I'm really talking about here, you know what I'm saying, it's when you get to that level in that different space, you start to see things differently. Now, this is for you, baby. And that's how we're giving sight to the blinds. And that's how now we're performing miracles. Oh, you tell them what you see on this side, baby. We're giving sight to the blinds, man. You know what I'm saying? But at their own terms, they're doing their process. Nigga, it's all good, baby. Shit, I don't need clouts. I'm the clout, nigga. Fuck out of here with your bullshit, nigga. I don't give a fuck. How many subscribers you got? 1 million? You doing good, baby. You ain't got enough. Wait, when I said nigga with a fucking man, nigga, you ain't got enough, nigga. Because this is coming from the inside. It's self-fulfillment. Now, that's my passion. Can you see the passion? Can you feel it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? The fuck are we doing? So it's important. You cannot transcend anything. You got to go through it, baby. You got to understand it. And you'll see every great spiritual teachers from fucking Bobby Hemmett. These niggas are able to tell you about the fucking Phil Valentine's, you know what I'm saying? They're able to decode the motherfucking culture. They telling you what's taking place. What's in front of you, but that you don't see. You know what I'm saying? Brother Panic, another brother too. Like this nigga, when I want to learn about fucking, let's just say, this nigga understand and did a good job at breaking down motherfucking American shows. Well, he's American too, but you know what I'm saying? Obviously, this nigga, like, this nigga would tell you or break down the fucking connection. And Bill Cosby, more, and like, he understand that. Yeah, I'll be showing up in my play. I'm like, nigga, talk that shit. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying all of that to tell you, niggas, like, not only this is your battleground for your spirituality, but for you to transcend it, you have to go through it. You have to understand it. In other words, you have to bring light to it. Because when you are operating out of ignorance, which is the true reason why you're not awake, meaning you have not transitioned, it's strictly out of your fucking ignorance, nigga. You being ignorant out of your ignorance. That's truly what it comes down to. Because when you know better, you're going to do better. Understand, I said know better. Not having knowledge. There's a difference. You know, a lot of us, we say shit, but we don't know these things. When you know it, the aim has to become one with the target. That's what wisdom is. A wise man becomes one with his fucking knowledge. Another way of saying that, nigga, the meaning of being smart, we all gotta be street niggas. But unfortunately, I have to use the term street niggas, because what you truly mean, there you go, another culture. Then they go, even when niggas are talking about, you know what I'm saying, they from the streets. What the fuck does that mean? Pizza Hut, is it not in the fucking streets? Walmart, is it not in the streets? The court, I don't know, whatever you got to go through. The government, are they not in the motherfucking streets? So much so, yeah, they putting Rico on your ass. They're not in heaven. They are in the streets. But I get it. What motherfuckers are saying by I live in the streets. That's why you got to decode what niggas are saying. They're talking about illegal activities. But everybody's on the streets, nigga. Where the fuck do you think I go when you know, well, I mean, I don't have to go to work like, you know, like that. And they can do it at home. But, you know what I'm saying? Let's just say, you know what I'm saying, when I used to drive, you know what I'm saying, what the fuck do you think that is? Where was I driving to? The suburban, the fucking suburbans, or you know what I'm saying, all that shit. It's in the streets. But what you mean by talking about the streets, you know, you're referring to illegal activities. I get you. hmm People going to work every day, working hard, all, all in the streets, baby. But the importance of understanding that is that, let's just say now, I could tell, let's just say if I'm talking to a nigga, this nigga tell me, you know what I'm saying, I'm from the streets, dog, you know what I mean? I know what he's talking about. Now, for me to understand what he's talking about, even though now I know as a Haitian nigga, I'm everywhere in the streets, I'm like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I'm not from the streets, dog. I know where I'm from, though. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I don't know where I'm from, but I get what you're saying. I don't think I'm from the streets, dog. You know what I'm saying? The fuck? Are you serious, dog? I know. What am I gonna tell you, man? I stayed in the house. When you from the streets, like I stayed in the house. You know, maybe I came out, you know, on occasion. You know, just for me to go to, you know what I'm saying? Nah, man. And anyway, so now you can understand like the fucking contradiction, especially as a feminine energy living in the fucking in this country, how hard that is. Now Victoria's Secret comes in, you know what I'm saying, save a lot of you niggas. You know, allows you, you know what I'm saying, to be sexy, but that's what you do. That's just what they do, guys. You know what I'm saying? When I see my daughter doing that shit, oh, you know, of course, you know what I'm saying? But me being spiritual too and understanding the game, because she was the kind, she was that spark that made me like, what the fuck? You're 5 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to have that, man. You know, yeah, nigga. But nah, nigga, they just feel my energy. That's what they do. Beauty is part of them. So a feminine, let's just say a woman who chooses to activate their masculinity, well, guess what? They're not going to want to look as girly. When you have your gay relationship with when the tomboy, you know what I'm saying, who's have activated their masculine energy, guess what, nigga? Like, she's going to have to act a certain way. She's a boy. She's going to have to act that way. You know what I'm saying? You never see no bitches standing up and having the feminine, you know what I'm saying? They just stand up and she's like bouncing on them. They just standing, you know what I'm saying? Because they're the men. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. Yo, this shit is real. You see it. Am I saying anything you haven't seen? Maybe your interpretation of it. That's where, you know what I'm saying? We're just bringing you up to speed, baby. That's all. You know what I'm saying? You have to slow down and speed up. I got you. It's all part of the game. It's okay, because life happens before we can even catch on to it. Oh, I know. You see what I'm saying? You ain't doing nothing wrong, baby. You're good. You're good. You know what I'm saying? You're still on the right path. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what path you're on. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, you always, that's why in life, and we always say that too, you are right where you're supposed to be at any given time. You know what I'm saying? You can't cheat life, baby. You can only cheat yourself. But life is life. You know what I'm saying? Well, once you understand that, that's when you have to become in harmony with life. That's when you start flowing with life. As the individual, you have surrender to, you know what I'm saying, to the universe. Meaning now you are being part of the ocean. It takes you wherever it goes. But most importantly, you get to a point to where now you can also create as the Father's creating, so is the Son. And that's what it means now you can manifest. But understand, you are the manifestation. I don't want to say you are God, but you know. So now think about this. Now, if your culture plays or have so much impact on you, now think about your fucking religion. This is all mental. And that is the aspect of intellectual conditioning that I wanted to talk about tonight, pretty much. Because I'm just showing you a different aspect of it. The culture is only one part of it. Your religion, well, guess what? Your religion has to do with your culture too. Or your religion dictate. Nigga, let me take that shit back. Your fucking religion will actually dictate your culture. Like the overall, American culture is based at Puritans. Get to know them, then you'll see it. Get to know who they are, then you get to see this is a perfect display of that. That's when you'll get to understand your culture too. What money represents, what marriage represents. Are we even talking about love at this point? Do you see what I'm saying? All of these things mean something. So once you get to understand that, then you rise above it. And that's what we do as spiritual healers or spiritual masters. We see it, then we just rise above it, baby. But for you to do that, though, you have to understand it. There's no way around that. No fucking way around it, baby. You can only master anything. You can't master anything if you don't understand it. In other words, you have not acknowledged it. That's why in the occult, they're telling you, you know what I'm saying, you have to make peace with your past. Pretty much, that's what they're saying. You have to heal the wounded child. However the fuck do you want it? You want a little bit of drama? Or you want a straightforward? I'm with all the smokes. Nigga, I'm with all the smokes. Doesn't matter. I'm with all the smokes. You want to be dramatic? That's cool. You don't want to be dramatic? That's cool too, nigga. I get it though. That's all that matters. That's how you become perfect. I'm showing you perfection, niggas. This is what perfection looks like. The perfect harmony in everything. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, damn, man, like your cultures, it's, you know what I'm saying, even mythology. That's why in African spirituality, oh my God, niggas. We see, these have to be, I'm just showing you, again, different aspect. And I almost forgot about mythologies. Mythology is dealing with how, nigga, your mental conditioning. That's what we understood in African spirituality. That's why we use mythology to get to you by giving you the story, because that's how you work. It's all mental, isn't it? So the problem with, the culture, not just the culture, but let's just say in fucking religion, you learning about the story, but you exclude yourself from the story. Meanwhile, you are the story. I feel sorry. But the minute you realize that the story is all about you, you are the story. That's why you are the gods down here. You are creating your life. No matter how you choose, no matter what you choose to believe about you, it all comes from you. Let's just say, and I agree with that too. First of all, before I even say it, let me tell you, I strongly agree with that. Look around you. There is a God. There is a greater. There's the universe. That's what I would probably say. But the underlying message is there's a God. There's something greater than us. Well, guess what? That something we saying that's greater than us, it comes from us, because it is also our understanding of it. So you can never, ever remove yourself from nothing. Well, unless if you want to cheat yourself. Stop doing that. Stop cheating yourself. But if you want to do that, that's fine. That's on you. But stop it. So then you understand, even it's all you. Is it not? Let it marinate. So once you understand that and you become in alignment with your higher self, you get to rewrite your story. That's why the closer you are to your higher self, you're sitting among the elders. Do you see what I'm saying? Oh shit! So that made me think about you know what? That's the whole culture shit. Listen, this is an adolescent culture. Youth is what is all about. But it all makes sense. Just do it. You just gotta go. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker would be 95 years old, still trying to work out, still being active. Not to say there's something bad with it. But what I'm saying is the interpretation of it. That's why when we talk about health over here, health is actually being shredded, nigga. It's you moving. Eating healthy too, yeah. But for the most part, it's you acting. It's you constantly moving. Nigga, just do it. It's not a coincidence Nike uses athletes. Just do it. So understand, it started from that. But these motherfuckers took that shit on a whole different level. They have marketing motherfucking department, niggas. They collect the brightest of the minds. Then they put them together in the room. So what do you think this nigga's gonna come with? The shit that I'm giving you now. Oh yes, I'm a one-man band, baby. That's exactly what it does. And that's how they're able to evolve. For the company to maintain those, so the research has to be done as we evolve too, because people are changing. I mean, yes, no, at a slow rate. To what level? It's all under consideration. You're all right. I mean, in essence, really, no. But, that's where you go through your different events, different, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Like, and by the way, oh shit, there's so much to talk about. So think about it. That's why the pandemic is actually a reset. They reset the system. I don't know, I'm still paying attention. But there had been a reset. It had to be. Because you have to understand this. Even that's why change in our culture cannot exist. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? When you talk about institutionalized, those fucking different establishment, they are able to survive only because there's a tradition. Another way of saying this is that there is a system. To every establishment has a system. And the system is the survival kit of that establishment. So even, let's just say, with fucking Obama, and you guys, how many years it is now, so I'm not going to say anything that you didn't know. Or maybe that you didn't pay attention to. It doesn't matter. Change. The only change that this nigga brought was him. Now, he was the change. And he truly was. Because now, you know what I'm saying, I could see a nigga, you know, we had a nigga president. But in terms of the law, the establishment, no, it's not going to happen. Because the foundation, the survival of any type of institution. If you go to fucking school right now, they teaching my kids, your kid, the same exact shit that I learned. And ironically, as I've grown and I get to know, listen, these motherfuckers are lying. Guess what? It's the same shit. It remains the same. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only difference now in the game is the method. Now, my daughter, I'll give you a perfect example, during the pandemic, was able to stay home and still log in. But you logging in into the same. Now, it's just the method. The reset now, that's what it is. But the underlying, the essence, still bullshit. You're still going to learn about Christopher Columbus, how he discovered America, depending on what you know or what you don't know. But if you know, you know. But now the method is being done differently. But at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, it's the same shit. So now they got tools, better tools for you to put you to sleep. So, but to every establishment or institution, the only way they are able to survive, a perfect example, if you're creating a business for you ever wonder why, you could buy a franchise and it's still going to work? And part of you buying the franchise is because there is a system that it has already established. So let's just say my man, the nigga that bought, because there's a lot of that shit down here, because I fucking in Georgia now, Wingstop, Rick Ross, the boss. This nigga, you want to do good, you buy a chain. Well, guess what a chain represents? It's a system. There's no change. Now, when you go to McDonald's, what's going to change? The motherfucking screen, nigga. And the money's going up. They're making it more accessible now because now they understand how personal your phone is to you. Nigga, you can even pay using your phone. There are, as the game evolves, that's why they are continuously studying you. Not in a bad way. Not in the fucking Illuminati and all that shit. If you're into that, fine. But what I'm saying about here, dog, you know what I'm saying, it's pure marketing. Any business who's looking, that's why, you know what I'm saying, you got to study the market. They tell you that. But really, when you're studying the market, what the fuck does that mean? You're studying people. Okay, how do I study you? I got to understand your pattern. What do you do? A lot of these motherfuckers, they want to know what you do, nigga. I don't want to be sued because, I was part of a marketing group, you know what I'm saying, where niggas would tell you, I want to know when you purchase this product, or they want to know what you do from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And that's just the way it works. That's why McDonald was very successful, because this nigga studied the market, bro. Studied the market. Now, just because it was new, so now all you got to do, let's just say, there wasn't a book like Steve Harvey's book, because the market like that says act like a man, but think like a lady. I mean, think like a man, but act like a lady. So as the culture changes, the underlying, you got to follow. I don't believe I'm saying this. But anyway, let me stop. But in terms of, you know what I'm saying, hey, some motherfucker's gonna come out with it. There's gonna be a genius who understand what the fuck the market is asking for, and then they'll tell you in the form of a product. That's what these niggas are going for. Oh, guess what? You know what I'm saying? It's you went platinum, nigga. Shit, you went whatever the fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all of that to say, this is how impactful, you know what I'm saying, your culture is, and how insightful it is, but how it can also be the blockage for you to get to yourself. Because ultimately what you're talking about here is truly the science of ignorance, meaning, you know, you acting, but you're not aware of what you're doing. And for a lot of us, this is how you know your shadow, depending. That's why it's very important, man. It's important. Like, I was listening to motherfucking Omarion, right? He was saying some shit about, you see, a lot of the kids at an early age that get to become superstars and shit like that, their parents was backing them up. Beyonce, fucking Usher, what the nigga I just said, Omarion. Because he was saying, man, it was like, and I grasped all, I'm like, because, you know, like, I listen differently. When I listen to people, I listen differently. But anyway, it's just a support system, man. So I'm saying this to say, a lot of the times, not just your culture, but how your parents, or what type of parents that you have, will also dictate, would have a big impact on your life. That's why when a nigga comes from the hood, you know what I'm saying, you're going to act hood. Or if you come from the hood, then you get to change and become a different person. You're changing the bloodline. You're purifying. That's what a lot of us, like a nigga like me, I'm a black sheep. I am that. I am changing the bloodline. That stupidity that existed in my family, it stopped right here. Today's a new day, nigga. That's what I tell these niggas, man. Fuck out of here, man. We came to make things different around here. And not just in my family, too. Now, with you niggas, too. Because I work for y'all. Oh, I know what my mission is, man. I came to bring the pain. And I'm doing just that, baby. And I'm going to keep on doing it. Can't be stopped, nigga. Can't stop the shine. You can't stop the shine, nigga. Clef already told you that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop the shine. Oh, this is what it is. So we know exactly why we're here, baby. You know what I'm saying? And part of that process too, man, you know what I'm saying, we have to get in touch with the other side. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of conversation too that, you know what I'm saying, that you know what I'm saying? Shit, man, you gotta sit among the elders for that one. You know what I'm saying? That's when you get to understand, you know, having a connection with whatever you're calling, like, you know what I'm saying, the other side, man. It's all here, man. Your spirit guides, the spirit, and all that shit. Really, that's the shit I want to talk about. But I got it. It's, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Lila Africa, man. Shout out to this motherfucking nigga. You gonna drink it right here, bitch. My shit's getting done, nigga. But as he transitioned, man, that nigga, you know what I'm saying, took me, you know what I'm saying, and then I had that dream, because I didn't even know the motherfucker passed away, right? Then I had a dream where he came in and showing me a couple things. He was like, nigga, you doing good, but let me do this for you. Until a few months later, I'm like, oh, that's when it makes sense to me. Because I was told he passed away, because that shit was not even in fucking YouTube. I didn't even know that. I don't know who the fuck I was listening to when I find that shit out. I'm like, what? Damn. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how niggas be like, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Or talk about the nigga, his legacy, the work that he did. Have not seen none of that yet. But anyway, maybe let me just talk in my testimony, because you know, like the conscious community. You know, I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Nobody shed light on that shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But this nigga, listen, man, he showed me a couple things. And I'm like, yeah, because in other words, he changed the perspective. Helped me to understand what a healer is. Do you see what I'm saying? Even food and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just physical. Like, that's where he started. He was showing me he had to speak that way because the people were not ready for the other one, for the next stage. But he had to show me what he was talking about and how for me to integrate what he was talking about into my mission. That's why I'm telling you niggas to get your medicine. Oh, I got it. And the spiritual healer that he had to start, because it's all connected to what I'm talking about too, man. Because that shit, you know what I'm saying, even when he was telling you, yo, they controlling you through your food. Culture, nigga. This is what you need to understand for you to transcend. This nigga was telling you, yo, this is not your culture. You're not eating the African way. Not just in terms of food, but if you truly understand the underlining, and we're not talking about shit that is good for your body, none of that shit. But that too, I just want to make sure I'm not neglecting that. That's why I mention it. But there's a higher state of mind that comes with that. Just like when I was talking about culture, understanding when the motherfucker asked me that type of question, what he's truly saying. Now, when you adapt that culture, now you're thinking that way too. Now, the thing that makes me American but not American is that I understand it, but I don't apply it in my life. I don't even ask motherfucker, like, what do they do? What do they do for a living? And if I were to ask you that, I will let you know I mean that literally. Because I would be more interested not in your accolades. Your accolades means nothing to me. I don't give a fuck. You could be President Obama, nigga. Congratulations. It means nothing to me, bro. Nothing at all. That's why my purpose, and I think I've been doing that, but I'm trying to find a way to do it literally. Me sucking my own dick. I'm looking to do that literally. Well, not really, but, just, I'm being dramatic. Do you see what I'm saying? But do you get the message here? Your accolades, I don't give a fuck. Your money, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck, bro. That ain't doing shit for me, bro. Keep getting it, baby. If you get money, well, nigga, do that. You know what I'm saying? Who are you hanging out with? Oh, okay, you top shelf? Nigga, me too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what your definition of top shelf is. But over here, man, I'm in fucking alignment. So that is the self fulfillment. That is the self realization. That is the state of perfection, meaning becoming whole. Not flawless. We're talking about whole perfection. That's what perfecting your art means. You're making it perfect, making it whole, complete. And that's what self-realization is about, my niggas. But for you to get there, though, you got to know how to get there. And how to get there, now those are the codes. It's all spirit. I mean, it's all mental. Now, from there, you have to understand, okay, so when we're talking about mentality, what are we talking about? What is your culture? Now, if you're not looking at it from a higher perspective, you could say it's the way you eat, the way you walk, the way you shit, the way all that shit, right? Which is true. But there is a higher or an underlying understanding behind it that you're not catching. And that's what's going to determine your society. Now, if my job, think about this, if I got to find a meaningful job, or if my job determines me, doesn't it make sense for me to keep working or find the best job that I can get? And then now, outside of that, when I get the money for it, now I get to show you my values. Nigga, I'm valuable. And that's what money represents here. It's a proof. Now you got proof that, what you're doing is good. And that's what this nigga academic, that is his name. When he was talking some shit about the hip hop legend, he was saying these niggas didn't have money in their bank accounts, meaning, obviously this nigga's not looking at the bigger picture because money's not everything, right? And LL Cool J responded to that nigga like, I'm like, LL, you didn't see come on, like, nigga, I don't know, man, like, let's just say a motherfucker make a comment here, man. I know what I'm talking about. It may not be translated the right way, or maybe it is, or maybe you don't get it. You want to talk some shit, nigga? Go at it. I'm going to still come back to Bob, and tell you what, I'll get better, baby. How about time? How about that? And as I have been, too, with times. It's part of the process, baby. Like these niggas are saying, right? I'm outside. I've been inside. Well, guess what, nigga? I'm outside. You know what I'm saying? There's no illegal activities going on, guys, all right? I'm just literally outside, you know what I'm saying? And I've been outside for a minute, too. Shit, forever. That's why I was like, you know what I'm saying? No illegal shit. But anyway, to get back to what I was saying, god damn, oh shit, this is a long one. But now with that being said, not only that you know what, I think I'm gonna stop it there, man. Shit, what the fuck was I talking about? I wanted to summarize. Okay, so this is what you need to understand. Understanding your culture is vital. It helps with self-awareness. Meaning it helps you to understand, okay, why do I act a certain way? Then it gives you the power now if you need to modify your actions. But the underlying, when you combine you having the power to modify your reaction or to create your action, that's power. That's you becoming, or having control over your own fucking mind. And that's the only way, that's how you're going to become spiritual. In other words, you get to see the truth. There's no illusion. You are the master of your life. But for you to get there, and that's what shit, nigga, I'm giving you directions. For you to get there, though, you know what I'm saying, you have to embrace, again, like the science of ignorance. Or another way of saying this, you gotta, well, I mean, so many different ways of saying it, but you have to know who you are. So, but anyway, to get back to my conclusion here, you know, you get to be, in other words, you see how people, the conscious and the subconscious has to come together. For you to have that super conscious or that higher state of consciousness, now you have to be aware of what you're not aware of. You know what I'm saying? You have to be aware of what you're not aware of. I know it sounds like a fucking, you know, like a fucking paradox, but understand, or two different extremity, but they come together. And that's what the Kabbalion is telling you about when they talk about the law of polarity. The masculine and the feminine energy. Extremities, they come together. There was something else they say. Opposite, they say some opposite come together. I don't know how they say it. But the Kabbalion, my nigga, once you fully understand it, and the more you grow spiritually too in your consciousness, then you truly become, you're gonna become that, and you'll be seeing it's all mental. Because for me, I had to make this knowledge flesh. Then you understand the law of correspondence. As it is within, so it is without. All of this shit is telling you about you, nigga. As you are embarking on your spiritual life, you're going to start changing depending on where you come from, right? They tell you your friends reflects, or your environment where you go reflects you. As it is within, so it is without. That's why you are manifesting. You are attracting who you are. That's why you need to embrace, even when you had, let's just say, a fucked up relationship. That's why for me, I embrace all these niggas. I tell them thank you, even my baby mother, for 2 beautiful kids. Even though, you know what I'm saying, it didn't work out, nigga, you put me on a whole different level, nigga. Thank you. This shit has nothing to do with me being with you. You deserve the world, baby. Just not for me. That's all. You know what I'm saying? How light do you want my heart to be? Because I'll be that. Shout out to my nigga Red Man. I'll be that. I'll be that. Right? So the bottom line of what I'm really talking about here is just showing you in so many fucking layers, levels, ways of looking at it, that you are reflecting who you are. You are spirit. It's all mental. So becoming conscious of your culture, it's vital. It's a must. And of course, the point, or the gist of understanding it, it's not to minimize it, to say, oh, American, that's how you think, or French, that's how you think. That's, you skip, you miss the point. But it's for you to become in control, because none of this shit is perfect, right? Like the American culture is not a perfect culture. The French culture is not. The German culture is not. The Australian, the African, The list goes on. You get the point? But that imperfection is the actual perfection. God damn it, niggas. I'm on some bullshit. That imperfection is the actual perfection. Because it's not intended for you to be enslaved by it. So that's the, you know what I'm saying? But the perfection is for you to get that. God damn it, niggas. How the fuck do you want it? But anyway, to summarize real quick before I roll out of here, because it's been a minute, almost 2 hours. God damn, I'm working out here. It's a, oh shit. The new moon. And that's just the way I wanted it too. So this had to, you know, so I had to put that shit out. But, my niggas. So once you understand how insightful your culture, but most importantly, everything that is taking place in this reality to you, then you realize not only, you know, how much of a spirit you are, but you also get to see the truth for what it is, and that's how you transcend. Meaning, that's how you get your heart to be as light as a feather. We could go on this shit, but you already know it's nothing but love. I drop a lot of, check out the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep this thing going. Aishen. Ali.